Mr. Symington and Mr. Blenkinsop entered Andrew Brown's life on possibly the worst morning of his career. It hadn't been up to that point a particularly stellar career. Andrew Brown wasn't a high flyer, more of a low glider. He wasn't a big shot, more of a small fry. He'd got a good degree from a good university and hadn't known quite what to do with himself after he left. The man at the career service had dipped a digestive biscuit into his tea and pulled a flyer apparently at random from a pile next to him. "Lexington International Bank are holding a recruitment day next week," the careers advisor had said, failing to bite into his biscuit before it disintegrated, and then failing to catch it before it collapsed soggily onto the floor. "Oh, damn," he said, trying to wipe up the mess. "But Andrew had said. The careers advisor tried to scrape the biscuit up with some papers before apparently noticing that they were important and trying to scrape the biscuit off them instead. It seemed to Andrew that he'd half forgotten him already as he said, "Try Lexington, blue chip company. Good place to work. Worth a go." Andrew Brown wondered sometimes if his life would have been totally different if the biscuit had been a bourbon instead. They take longer to dissolve in tea. He tested well, that was the thing. Put him in front of a problem and he tried to solve it. Put him in front of an exam and he tried to ace it. Put him in front of a ladder and he tried to climb it, without necessarily looking at what that ladder was leaning against or working out whether he really wanted to be up at the top of it. He'd sat down in front of the Lexington International Bank aptitude test and tried hard to solve every question. He'd worked hard at the corporate recruitment away days on building a raft out of tyres and troubleshooting an imaginary failing business. He got on well with most people. He was an excellent team player. This had been noted on the letter Lexington Bank had sent him, offering him a job. That had been 10 years ago, though, and he was still climbing that ladder. After starting as a graduate trainee, he now worked at Lexington International Bank as a financial analyst. Mostly this meant that he read about companies, put some numbers about them into spreadsheets, and made random guesses about whether they'd make more or less money over the next 6 months. He sat in front of a computer for 12 hours a day trying to impress the people higher up than him so that they'd advance him one more rung on that imaginary ladder and give him the money that he'd convinced himself made it all almost worthwhile. The thing about the Lexington International Bank ladder was that it was very long and climbing it was very exhausting. And so Andrew Brown didn't have a lot of time to think about whether he really wanted to get to the top of it. And besides, since so many other people were climbing too, the view from the top must be worth it.